Your English podcast.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into some source material you sent over. It looks like a mix of articles, notes, and something connected to a podcast called Your English Podcast.
That's right. Yeah. It's all focused on, well, how do you even start learning English if you're coming in totally cold, absolute beginners?
Right. So our mission basically is to sift through all this and pull out the really core practical advice, the stuff someone starting from zero can actually use.
Exactly. We're looking at those first steps the sources highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out why you're learning, weaving English into your life, finding that motivator.
Celebrating the small stuff, practicing,
Yeah.
all that foundational material.
Yep. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the very first thing, seems like every source kind of shits on this. It's not about opening a textbook immediately. It's about defining your why.
Right. Why English specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Is like for a job or travel or maybe just personal growth.
And they emphasize visualizing it too, not just a vague, I want to speak English.
Mm-hmm. Picturing that moment, like actually seeing yourself ordering that coffee or understanding a movie.
Or nailing that interview. They argue that specific image is, well, your strongest starting fuel.
It makes sense. Gives you something concrete to aim for.
So once you've got that why, what's next? The sources seem pretty insistent on doing, not just thinking, making English physically present.
Yeah, dedicating time daily, obviously, but also really practical things like changing your phone language to English.
Or sticking little notes with new words on the fridge or your mirror, places you can't miss them.
Some even suggest setting up like a language corner at home, a dedicated space.
It's about integrating it, right? Making it part of the background noise of your life almost.
Exactly. So it's not this separate, daunting task. It's just there. Constant contact makes it easier to absorb, supposedly.
Okay, environment helps, but motivation, that's always the tricky part, isn't it? Keeping it going.
Definitely. And the sources tackle that directly. They say break down the big dream fluency, whatever, into tiny pieces.
So not become fluent, but more like,
Learn 5 new words today.
oh,
Or finish this one simple exercise. Small, achievable wins.
and that ties into celebrating those wins, right? The sources seem big on that.
Oh, absolutely. Acknowledging every little bit of progress. Every word you use, every sentence you kind of understand.
Maybe keeping a little diary or a simple chart just to see it adding up.
Yeah, seeing that progress is huge for staying motivated, especially when you hit a wall. And they also stress that mistakes are totally normal, expected even, not failures.
It sounds kind of lonely, though, just you and your notebook. Do they talk about connecting with people?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Strongly recommend finding language partners or groups online or, maybe meeting up.
So you actually get to use the language.
Right. Real communication practice. Plus, having that support network, people go through the same thing, can make a big difference.
Makes sense. But then there's a flip side. Something about not comparing yourself.
Yes, exactly. While connecting is good, they warn against that comparison trap. Everyone learns differently at their own pace.
So how do you track progress without comparing?
They suggest something like a personal diary, but in English. Even simple sentences at first. It lets you see your growth over time, find your weak spots. It's about your journey, not someone else's.
Okay, I like that. Personal benchmarks. Now, here's a point that feels really direct. The sources basically say, just start now.
Yeah, don't get stuck planning forever. Begin with super simple stuff. Basic words, short phrases.
Use Google in English, maybe. Or a translator as a little helper.
Sure. Practical things too, like writing your shopping list in English. Or, yeah, just switch your phone language today. The key is immediate action, however small.
And that action needs follow through. Consistency.
Non-negotiable, according to these sources. Constant interaction. They suggest practical things like recording yourself speaking.
Oh, interesting. To hear yourself.
Yeah, and reading things out loud, then listen back, analyze it a bit. Find ways to weave that active practice into your daily routine.
And that builds confidence, which feeds back into practicing more.
Exactly, it's a positive cycle.
Okay, so pulling it all together, the roadmap from these sources seems pretty clear. Find your why, visualize it, make English part of your environment.
Break goals down small. Celebrate wins. Track your progress. Connect with others, but stay focused on your own path.
And crucially, start now with simple things and practice consistently every day.
It's really about building a habit, isn't it? Something sustainable because it means something to you and you can actually see yourself getting better. Less about perfection, more about just keeping going.
So, for everyone listening, thinking about all this, what's just one really small, immediate thing you could do right now or maybe later today to start that English journey, or maybe just push your current one forward a tiny bit?
Could be writing down that why. Could be changing that phone setting. Learning, I don't know, 3 new words related to your hobby.
What's that single very next step for you?